Hey everybody, this is Alan Ting, best-selling author, life strategist, and this is part of another segment of my Ultimate Success Series blog, helping you accelerate your path of success. And in this series, we'll be talking about a life without struggle gives you no self-worth. And what does that mean? If I can share with you a quick story. Actually, before we do that, recently a client of mine asked, like, "Hey, Alan, like you gone through a lot of crap, a lot of shit in your life. How did you overcome your struggle? And how did you find that resiliency?" And first and foremost, I was like, I'm very honored to be working with you. Second, I realized at a very young age that the struggles that I go through, there's meaning behind it. And this is before even I read Man Searching for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. That I thought that, hey, if when I was in high school, I had a lot of broken hearts, believe it or not. And I realized if I had to go through all that, it must have mean something for me, because later on when I do grow up, I'm going to find out how to have the ultimate relationship, and more importantly, how I can serve others with my same struggle. Right? Those are part of the leadership traits, is how do leaders set by examples. Now, without derailing to the topic, let's come back to about the life struggle. A life without struggle gives no self-pride. I don't know about you. Have you ever had your heart broken before, where the love of your life, you thought you were in the perfect relationship, and next thing you know, that person bails on you, dumps you, for lack of a better word? Or have you ever worked at your job and it's not fulfilling, and you're on the brink of getting fired, or you realize this is not the job for you and you need to go find another job? Or if you have something you're struggling with your life, maybe it's the ability to, or wanting to lose an extra 10 pounds or 25 pounds, and you're just like, this is just, I'm so struggling. It's just, whatever I do is not working. So those are the moments I like you to go reflect back in your life. In fact, the reason why I'm shooting this video today for you is because it's raining outside. That usually never happens in California, especially in June. Right around this time of the year, especially Northern California, we should be experiencing about 90 to 100 degrees temperature. Rather, right now it's raining. So if you look at our lives, for most people, when it rains, what do? They want to find shelter. They want to find comfort, right? And it's a metaphor in life. Because let me ask you this: how will trees and flowers grow if there's no rain, if there's no water? Well, you can't. So that's a metaphor I like to challenge you to think about. Whenever you're struggling in life, maybe those are the water that fuels you. Because what happens is, when we're succeeding, guess what happens? We go out and party, right? Woo, having a good time. But when we fail, we tend to ponder. We tend to wonder what's going on. What happened to our life? What did we do wrong? Or worst part is, we blame other people for their fault. Hey, I'm not trying to say that this is you, but, because I've been there before. That's part of human nature, right? But instead, I like to think about, reframe, to think about, instead of having a struggle, maybe honor it. Maybe that struggle, maybe that the issue, the challenge you're going in through is the water for your soul, right? Now, if I can share with you a quick story, about 4 years ago, I was engaged with this woman, and I gave her everything I got. At the end of the year, things didn't work out. We parted, and I felt empty. So I went on a 3-month sabbatical. Actually, it was like a month and a half sabbatical, and I traveled around the world. And in one of my stops, I stopped by Fiji. The day I got there, the night before, it was just pouring down rain. I've been to Fiji before, but this is epic rain. It was like monsoon, right? Raining cats and dogs, literally. And the raindrops are that big. And next morning, when I woke up, the rain stopped. It was right about 5:30 when the sun came up. And I looked out my window, and I saw this magnificent sunrise. And I quickly ran out there and took some pictures. Just the orange, the glow, the yellow, the cloud, the formation behind the palm trees and the waterfall. It was such an amazing experience. And I've seen some pretty epic sunrise, including like Haleakala and Maui. And this is just, I'm in awe. I just feel like I was in bliss, right? Now, here's what I learned that day. The second day, I woke up right around the same time, 5:30 in the morning. I went back to the same place to go take the same picture. And it was just not the same. There's no definition in the picture. There's no foreground. There's no background. There's not a lot of cloud. Yes, the sunlight was still there, but it wasn't just the same. There's no shadow. There's no texture to that picture. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to come back the next day. It turned out that I went back the same time, 5:30 in the morning, for every day consistently for about 6 days. And out of those 6 days, I did not find the view that I was looking for. I just couldn't replicate it. And I realized was this, that there are times in your life that you're going to go through the struggle. But if you take a moment to reflect back, those struggle is it helps you build your character, because now you have the background and you have the foreground. See, what happens, what most people do is, especially people who commit suicide, is they forgot about their background. I mean, you look at people like, this is one of the guys I really, really love, Robin Williams. Okay, I'm sure he had a lot of struggles in his life, no doubt, right? But look at all the success that he had. But if you look at Robin Williams, was just a regular guy like you and me. Actually, I met him before, just like you and me. And he started out from nothing. If you had to get a chance to go remember that, what his background was like, he'll be much appreciated what he has now. And this is something that we can all do. No matter how hard your life is, no matter how much you're struggling your life is, there's always somebody going to be like live worse off than you are. People like kids in India, they have nothing to eat. People like kids in Africa, they couldn't even go to school, let alone to have shelter over their head, right? So you always want to be comparing your foreground and background, and that's what's going to make your life magnificent. And one of the things that I'm very passionate about is about studying human behavior. And if you look at the millennial generation, when they're growing up, again, no knock on them, but I went to a friend's house and I look at the daughter and she's got all these medals like hanging on her desk. I'm like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, look at your accomplishment that you won playing basketball, you won a tournament, you did all of that. She's got like 5, 6, 7 medals. And it was like, Mom said, you know what she said? Hey, thanks for giving me a thumbs up. Hey, thanks guys. Hey, Bubba. Hey, Michael. And the mom's like, oh yeah, you know those medals that she got? Yeah, those are from her from participation. Like, what do you mean? Like, she participated, she was in a basketball league, they played it for weeks, and then afterwards, all the girls gets a medal. Are you freaking kidding me? Everybody gets a medal? There's no honor in that. Like, when I was growing up, when I see somebody else have a trophy or they earn something, that meant something to me, because that was hard work. That was the effort that they put in. Well, it turns out that psychologists, they did all these, they analyze like the impact of that, right? Because what happened is parents, they tell their kids like, hey, good job, you're doing really, really well, when they're playing on a soccer field, when they're not even kicking the ball. Turns out that when they're growing up, they don't understand, they don't appreciate hard work. And what happens is that when they ever face a challenge, they're like, I can't overcome that. So they're going to go back to the default, which is doing nothing. And that's the challenge that we're facing in our world today. A lot of people are just giving up free awards. They're just privileged, that every right that they don't even have to earn it, and they get that thing, the award, the position or the salary, whatever that is. And that's where we're having so much issue in our society right now, right? So the thing is, like you to think about is really honor that struggle, because if you don't have struggle in your life, you have no pride. And that's the message I want to share with you. And if you like this video, love to have you comment below. If you have any questions, feel free to put that on the bottom. I'd love to hear back from you. And if you have other questions about topics that you'd like me to talk about, be happy to do so as well. Go ahead and put the comment in on below. And with that said, live every day, love with your heart, and journey with your heart by spreading love and joy. And you guys have an awesome day.